Why are cows holy in India? At first it sounds simple. They give milk, they help farmers, they symbolize life. But if you really look closer, if you start connecting the dots, the picture gets stranger, more mysterious, and maybe even psychedelic. Think about this. Cows eat nothing but grass all day. They wander peacefully, chewing, existing in stillness. And out of what they leave behind, their dung, mushrooms start to grow. Not just any mushrooms, but the kind that can open the doors of perception, the kind that make people see gods, universes, and hidden dimensions. Isn't it interesting that the animal most connected with these sacred plants is also the one that became holy in Hinduism? Maybe it's not a coincidence at all. Look at Krishna, the blue-skinned god of joy and music. He plays his flute, cows surround him, and everyone falls into ecstatic trances of dance and happiness. Now ask yourself, does that sound like just a normal village scene? Or does it sound suspiciously like a psychedelic ritual? Music, dancing, bliss, cows, and mushrooms waiting quietly in the background. Maybe the stories are symbolic. Maybe Krishna's divine joy wasn't just about music, but about higher states of consciousness. And then there is Shiva, Shiva the destroyer, Shiva the Lord of transformation. In ancient rituals, people would take powerful substances, sometimes mushrooms, sometimes datara, to reach altered states. When you surrender to Shiva, you are not just worshipping a god outside yourself. You are surrendering your ego, giving up your small identity, and stepping into the eternal. In that sense, Shiva could be seen as a kind of psychedelic entity, a force that strips away illusion and shows you the truth. Hinduism, when you peel away the layers, is full of these psychedelic hints. Soma, the mysterious drink of the gods, is described in the Rig Veda as a substance that gave immortality, visions, and divine strength. Scholars have debated for centuries what Soma really was. Was it a mushroom, a plant, a mixture? But here's the deeper secret. Soma might not be something outside at all. Soma might be within. It might be the divine nectar inside the brain, released in altered states of consciousness, whether through meditation, through plants, or through pure surrender. That's why in rituals they pour water, milk, or soma over the head of statues. It symbolizes the flow of divine energy down into the brain, into consciousness itself. Soma is the reminder that we are already gods. The experience is not just about drinking something, but awakening something that was already within. And this is where immortality comes in. In Hindu thought, being immortal isn't about living forever in a body. It's about escaping the cycle of reincarnation. No more being born, living, dying, and being born again. Immortality means realizing you are Brahman, the ultimate reality, the divine consciousness that creates everything. When you wake up to that, you don't come back. You merge with the infinite. Now think about mushrooms again. People who have taken them often describe ego death, the feeling of losing yourself, dissolving into the universe, becoming one with everything. Doesn't that sound exactly like what the Upanishads describe as realizing you are Brahman? In a way, mushrooms can serve as teachers, reminding us of what we already are, gods creating our own reality. But mushrooms aren't the only way. Meditation, watching your thoughts, detaching from them, going into that higher state of awareness. That is another path. The yogis discovered that if you go deep enough, the brain itself produces experiences like Soma, a flood of divine light, bliss, and freedom. It's all about realizing that you are not the small self. You are the infinite. So maybe cows are holy because they are at the center of this whole mystery. They sustain life with their milk, they symbolize gentleness, But they also happen to be the very creatures that carry the key to psychedelic experiences through the mushrooms that grow from their dung. It's as if nature chose them to be the bridge between the earthly and the divine. Krishna dancing with cows while playing the flute? It could be a memory of a ritual, where music and altered states brought people closer to the gods. Shiva demanding surrender. It could be the lesson of ego death, the psychedelic truth that you are not your body, not your mind, but something far greater. Soma being poured on the head. It could be a symbol of divine consciousness flowing into the brain. And immortality, freedom from rebirth, comes when you know this truth. When you know you are Brahman, when you know you are God, when you step fully into higher consciousness. Mushrooms, meditation, ritual, they are all just doors. But the reality is already inside you. So why are cows holy in India? The easy answer is because they give milk and life. But the deeper answer might be because Hinduism itself carries the memory of psychedelic traditions. A religion that encoded cosmic truths into stories, gods, and symbols. A religion where cows, mushrooms, Soma, and gods like Krishna and Shiva are all pointing to the same secret, that we are divine, that we create reality, and that liberation comes from remembering who we truly are. Maybe the holiness of the cow is a reminder that life feeds us, that nature hides keys in strange places, and that the path to the infinite can sometimes begin in the most unexpected way, even in a field, with a cow and a mushroom growing quietly in the grass. So the next time you see Krishna with his flute and his cows, ask yourself, is this just a pretty picture of pastoral life? Or is it a psychedelic code telling us that joy, music, mushrooms, and surrender are the path to the divine? The truth might be hiding in plain sight. And when you surrender to Shiva, to Krishna, to the God within yourself, you discover what immortality really means. No more reincarnation, no more illusion, just pure freedom, pure bliss, pure God consciousness. That is the ultimate secret. That is why cows are holy. And that is why